personally, I got into this obviously also because my family and myself got struck by cancer pretty early on. I was 5 years old when my mother passed away. And today, being a father, having 3 children, I think a lot about that day when my dad drove home from the hospital and he had 20 miles to go. And he was probably thinking about, how do I explain to my 3 children that their mom isn't there anymore? We don't want this anymore. We don't want these moments to be gone. This should be a thing of the past. And why I'm here and why you guys are here is we can actually make this happen.
Today's a tough event for our team. It'll be our first cycle without our leader, Brian Roselle, who passed away last April from his own battle with cancer. But we are here to focus on the positive and to celebrate, because that is what Brian surely would want.
This will be my 6th ride. And I started at that time, one of my best friends was diagnosed with lymphoma of the brain, and she was being treated at Memorial Sloan Kettering. And she was fortunate enough to participate in one of the clinical trials that MSK was doing at that time, and she has now been in remission since then.
I ride because my best friend lost his battle with Ewing sarcoma when we were just 18, and being here helps. Being in this room with all of you and the love and the support, it lets him live, and it lets me live. Ron was a warrior, and everyone in this room is an amazing warrior for the fight against rare cancers.
She bent down and whispered in my ear. She said, "You promised me we were going to have 50 years together, and I want to know if you're a man of your word." And I said, yes. The next 6 years were the biggest marathon I've ever run. My sister-in-law died at 42. One of my best friends died at 49. My business partner died at 42. Their names are on here. My name is on here. We will not stop until cancer is a name that our grandkids don't know. We're not going to stop.
In Sid and Spin, we participate in Cycle for Survival each year for 3 reasons. The first is to show our gratitude towards Memorial Sloan Kettering for the research that they've done to save Sydney's eye and her life. The second reason is we want to instill hope that insurance companies will pay for these life-saving treatments, but they need the research to show that these methods work. And that's where all of us come in and why we're so important in writing in this event, because we generate the awareness, which then leads to the donations, which then funds these life-saving measures and gives us hope. And hope is what we needed during a really dark time. And finally, we ride for Sydney. Despite she's 6 years old and she's gone through more than any 6-year-old should have to go through, but despite all the chemotherapy and the red-eye flights and the eye drops that she hates and the patching, she has remained resilient and kind and sweet and loves life, and she is our little trooper and our mini superhero.
We will do 10,000 tumors a year, okay? And so that means that we see mutations in the rarest of cancers to the most common of cancers. And this is a huge amount of information. I mean, it's unprecedented. This effort is unparalleled anywhere in the world. And what we do with that information, first of all, is it has changed the way cancer gets treated immediately. I think this is going to be really a game changer. And I think it's the kind of thing that is the best way to use the genomic data, and I think a really good way for your commitment, your enthusiasm to be manifest in giving us knowledge that may pave the way for new strategies, new approaches to cures. And I thank you so much.
I first started writing because I was trapped in myself. I was trapped in my own story, my own grief. I lost my father to cancer almost 6 years ago. And it was a rare cancer. It was a sad story, just like many that we heard today. But on that note, this whole event has changed how I feel about cancer, how I just feel about just the world, the life, the energy in this room. You guys all felt it today. That's why I continue to come back, to hear stories like Sydney's. I'm crying now because of the hope, the life, the energy in this room, not the loss, not the grief.
I am tired of these heartbreaking stories. This is war. We are all on the battlefield together. The amazing group of people in this room can keep fighting every day until we find a cure to all cancers. I encourage you to scream your battle cry today. For every single person that is fighting cancer, we need to be the backbone.